All right, let's talk about Kyler Murray and what went right and mostly what went wrong for this Cardinals team. I'll start off with a positive because early on you're thinking, okay, is this Cardinals team going to run away with it a little bit? Because they had this really nice play at the beginning of the game. You see, it's man coverage that they're going up against right here, and to have a one-on-one matchup, it's Michael Wilson who's running that route right here, and again, one-on-one matchup down the field. Kyler Murray likes to take a deep shot, so why not look in that direction? Well, he takes the snap, and when he looks in that direction, he likes what he sees, so he's going to fire it. I mean, you see, Michael Wilson is open on this play. Not the best coverage, to be honest, by Seattle, but it was a well-ran route. As you see, Kyler is able to hit him. They get this big chunk play, and you're thinking, okay, here we go, Arizona. I mean, this is a game you kind of have to win. Being able to win this one, go up early is a big deal for you guys, especially when you factor in, I mean, last time they played, the Cardinals scored 6 points in that game. They already have more than that. Seattle answered with a field goal, and then things started to get off the rails. So first, this play, it's a 2nd and 19, and that's something I'm going to get into later in this video, but there's way too many of these types of situations. 2nd and 19, 1st and 20s. Like, they put themselves, they had way too many negative plays early on in drives that essentially killed drives. But nonetheless, if you're in bad situations, you got to try and overcome it. Here you have a receiver running a over the middle route against zone coverage, one that can work. We see this work all the time. You find a gap in coverage and make the throw. Here, though, when Kyler takes the snap, I mean, you look right now, again, is there a window? I mean, like, we've seen guys be more covered, right? Like, you can see what Kyler sees in this situation, but this is, quite frankly, just not a throw he should be making. There is a linebacker right in front. It's just too risky of a play, especially in this situation, when even getting it still brings up, a 3rd and 7? Like, it's not worth it. Kyler decides to throw it anyway and ends up, throwing an interception. Seattle scored a touchdown immediately after, and you basically just squandered all that goodwill you had on that first drive with that great play. You wasted it there. Again, game far from over. But now we got to go over here. So, okay, not ideal. You've now found yourself down when you were leading. But hey, football's a long game, right? You have plenty of opportunities to try and, make something positive happen. This is a situation where it's a 2nd down and 9. And to me, this mistake is far more forgivable, but also still was a mistake and still hurt the team. So here's the play. It's man coverage across the board. Kyler Murray is going to take the snap, runs a play action, and you look right there. So that Arizona player running down the field, it appears as though nobody is on him. So, okay, well, this is a great situation, a blown coverage. Let's make this throw. Maybe we'll get a touchdown on this play. The issue is that there isn't nobody on him. The Seahawks are running a switch, essentially meaning that the safety who is deep, he's going to cover that Arizona player. The guy who was covering him one-on-one is now going to kind of play it at a safety role, and Kyler just didn't read that, which is a totally understandable mistake, but still one you would have loved to see him pick up. Because then you're going to see him, there's a holding penalty. That's what that flag is. He just throws one down the field, and the safety is completely over this. It's, again, a throw that he should not have made, but he misread the coverage, which, I mean, I would say even if you read the coverage correctly, you still have to be aware of the safeties, so it's not a full excuse that way either. It's a bad play. It's an understandable bad play, but it's a bad play. As you see, this one gets intercepted, and while it wasn't quite as easy of a touchdown drive on the next one, it still did lead to a touchdown drive. Seattle only had one more touchdown drive of the game, so you essentially spotted them good field position on multiple drives that they turned into 14 points and put yourself behind the 8 ball massively. Again, when the first time these two teams played, it was a defensive battle. It's just an issue. And then this play too, which was a bad play. I mean, so Arizona trying to get back into the game at this point. They're actually only down 9 points with 13 minutes left. Get a score here, and it's a 1-score game. You feel all right about yourself. But it's 2nd down and 8. You see the route on the screen, one that can work. It's essentially a one-on-one matchup. Kyler Murray takes the snap. He looks over, and it's not open. It just isn't. And worth mentioning, there is a check down on this play. I don't know if it'll go for a ton of yards. You're going to have a 3rd down, but that's kind of what you have to play for right here. You can't make this throw. The one issue with Kyler Murray, Kyler Murray's game, I would say, is that he does take too many chances, and he does put the ball in harm's way too much. He makes the amazing plays. I think Kyler Murray is a very good quarterback. I like him as a player, but this wasn't a good game because of mistakes like this. Watch, he makes the throw anyway. Marvin Harrison Jr., to his credit, understood the situation. He grabbed the defensive back. There was a penalty, which is okay. You'll take the 10-yard penalty over an interception, but because he had to take the penalty, it completely stalled the drive, and now you're screwed essentially, because now instead of having a third down and 8, it's second down and 18, and they just weren't able to overcome so many of those penalties. This drive had a penalty where you're going to see the flag come out. There's a hold, so instead of having a second down and 7, it now bumps you back to 1st and 20. They weren't able to overcome that penalty. There was a ton of these. This play, it's a 4th and 1. They convert the 4th and 1, are ready to have 1st and goal just shy of the 40, except there was a penalty on this one, pushes them back 10 yards, which now means that they have to punt the ball away, so that kills the drive. And then this play as well, I mean, it's not a penalty, but it's still worth noting. So you see the tight end is going to flash over. He's going to block the Seattle player who I've circled in black. This is a play action play. Watch as Kyler runs the play action, looks right here, and there is it's an issue. I mean, this is not Kyler's fault whatsoever. This is just a bad situation. He's going to try what he can, but really just ends up just having to take the sack. And again, that kills another drive. Sacks are drive killers. Instead of 1st and 10, you're now in a 2nd and very long. They weren't able to overcome that. So these are, these 4 plays, those are 4 drive killers. And when you throw on the 2 interceptions, that's 6 possessions that you just beat yourself on. I don't want to say they're fully unforced errors, but they're mostly unforced errors and, good defensive plays on top of it. But 6 plays essentially just tank your game. You're not going to win many football games if you just give the opponent 6 stops. Although granted, even when they weren't doing that, I thought Seattle was playing good defense, and we got to give Seattle credit. This play is a good example of it, where it's a 3rd down and 8. You see Seattle is selling as though it's going to be an all-out blitz. Well, if it is an all-out blitz, what do? Well, how about that route right there? You have Trey McBride running more over the middle. I mean, to be honest, if this is an all-out blitz, this is probably a touchdown, which is why it's not an all-out blitz. As you see, Seattle has a couple of defenders drop back into coverage. Now this over-the-middle route is taken care of. They knew exactly where Arizona was going with the football, and I gotta be honest, I think I would have liked to see Kyler Murray give a receiver a chance here. You have one-on-ones on the outside. I think that's what I would have preferred. Instead, he decides to just throw this football away, which is, not ideal there, I think. Again, he was put in a bad situation. I don't blame Kyler for this play. It's good defense more than anything. I think the coaching could have been a little better on this play, the play calling, because, you kind of got beat there, right? They knew what you were doing and came up with a scheme to beat it. And then I thought that they didn't do a great job of when a play wasn't working, figuring something else out. So at the end of the day, again, I still like Kyler as a quarterback. I think he's very good. I think he had a bad game, but this was a bad game. That's what I think about all of this. What do you think? Let me know in the comments below. Always love hearing from you. And of course, as always, thanks for watching.